Alright, here we are. GTFO Kim, good night. Good night, Kim. Good night, officer. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning. Even though I can't afford to stay in the other place now. That's what we do. Is what we do. A white envelope with the stamp attached to the upper right corner. Handed to you by Everard Clare. Inside are some legal documents with two names printed on them, Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. Lillian has signed. The other signature is still required. You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 by 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum. Underneath all this, Lillian's signature and an empty line, waiting for a signee. Look at the zoning plan. The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some... is it bow or bow? Of some great modern ship. Apparently it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. Of the street and square between the existing houses. That's gonna straight up block the way that they even leave their house? Is what her interpretation was? It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings. Almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth center. You might have more luck if you made a less shitty map. These people got kids, like they can benefit from this. Can we talk to him about... Try to find a loophole in the deal. The center's very close to the houses. What does this even mean? Loophole? In whose favor, exactly? There is no loophole. The simple truth is the current residents are going to lose their street access for the next 12 to 40 months. Their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next to their door. 12 to 40 months? I thought they said like 6 months or something, or 3 months. 12 to 40 months. That's 1 to 3 years. Wait, what are the ramifications of this? Once the construction starts, it'll probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out. This is terrible. Poor people. Can I do something? Well, you could trick Everard, get someone random to sign the document, but by the time the union boss finds out, your business here will already be concluded. Trick Everard. What does that mean? Does that mean that when they try to verify, they'll find out that the plan... Like, if they find out that the signatures aren't real, will they then have to cancel the plan? Because it sounds like I don't want the plan to happen, by and large. Can't I talk to Everard about the terms being shitty and that they should just plan the center better? Sounds like a tomorrow problem. Still, I could burn through some time. I got 12 hours on this son of a bitch. Have I read everything already? Read a case file, that's what I meant to do. Yeah, I think I read all these already. 1250. Yeah, that was 15 minutes right there. Oh, this is the one where I beat somebody, isn't it? Well, that's some progress at least. Let's not stay up forever. Or just trying to burn through that memory, because this thing gives me -2 physical instrument for as long as it's on. Yeah. So if I'm ever going to try that thing again, I'm going to need to have +1 to physical instrument. So lose the -2, and then add my +1, and then hopefully that'll work out. But I still need to burn through more time before I can do it, unfortunately. The bed is comforting if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest. The bed underneath you is soft, if lumpy. Waves wash the sand underneath the hut, then grow distant in your ear. In the quiet hum of the organic heater, you fall asleep.
Like a deftly cast fishing net, sleep pulls you out of the world and into its dark shore. The rough mesh chafes. Then, tightening around you, it digs into your brain.
Right, this is gonna be really chill.
How have things been going for you out there? Helped anyone lately? Saved anyone lately? Murdered anyone lately?
This bastard isn't even listening to you.
Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening psycho killer who offs poor people and then forgets about it.
Okay, so I'm a murderer, and that's bad.
Hear that? He doesn't even flinch. Iceman doesn't care about killing people. That's nothing to him. Blackwater, under the bridge. The thing he's really scared of is much, much worse than that.
What is it?
Don't tell him, sister. It's too bad.
They're right. This is their function. To keep you from it. Why are you doing this? I just want to sleep. I can almost see the dark.
We're trying to help you. All these processes, these tortures, voices and tremors are all just distractions, flares and countermeasures to keep you from the last dream, the worst of them all.
The last dream?
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage. We won't be there to help you anymore, Harry. We will be dormant. You will be naked and alone.
And the air will smell of apricots.
Of hell. An ancient sadness, brother. 10,000 years later, in front of the video rental, there is a warm breath on your face again. Everything is okay again.
Everything is so okay.
It doesn't sound like it will be okay.
Your eyelids flutter open for a moment. When you close them again, you sense the light of the room around you. You're back. In 2 seconds, the alarm will ring.
The last thought in your head before waking is, maybe you shouldn't have seen that stained glass window in that church. Open your eyes. Maybe I shouldn't have seen it? Things are going well. Just the constant threat of oblivion from all angles, you know. Having a good time. Having a good time. Low on morale, put points into volition. I've gotten some of that done. Good morning.
Yes?
Nope, nothing for now. Didn't have a lot to talk to him about. I think next up is we got Everett, we got the icebox, just the general hope that hopefully that thing freaking progresses over time and thaws more. Hopefully enough time has passed. It's a whole day later. I should be checking all of these guys if I want anything to happen with them. Poor things. I don't actually remember where some of them are. One's at the very, very end of the world, one's at their camp, one's here. I think there was 4 of them, so I guess it's already most of them. I don't know if anything will ever come of it, but I liked those characters. So I just kind of get curious, I guess. I'll get to you. For now, I want to talk to your boss. This is the longest route. Going anywhere from the east, like, coast area, all the way to Everett and back and so on, is just a lot of running in time limits. I mean, running in loading screens and so on. Probably be wrapped up soon, though, on that. Maybe. Maybe not. Not for an instant would he believe me when I told him there was a strange rich man hiding in part of his base. Everett, you're back. Do you have a nice nap?
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you're already sat on that chair.
Oh, right. We have this option where we just pretend we already mailed the signatures when we didn't. That's our loophole where we manipulate him, is that we don't get the signatures because they don't want it, but I still get my way if he believes me. Because he did kind of leave it wide open for me to manipulate him when he said to just mail it for him. Unless he was planning on waiting multiple days to follow through. Because it'd take a while for the letter to move. I mean, I'm not going to get what I want otherwise, so this is my only option, really. I don't really have that much misgiving about lying to this guy anyway. It's just I kind of don't want it to backfire, either because he doesn't believe me in the moment or because he finds out while I'm still here. I mailed the signatures you asked me to get. No, you didn't. He waves you off with a chuckle. I know the mailman, Harry. I know everyone and everything that happens in this town, and I know there's no letter in that mailbox yet. Just like I know you'll get it done once you stop horsing around. He nods reassuringly. Let me know when it's done. I don't really have the ability to come after him. I'm not given a ton to do here. Find someone to sign the document instead of the intended figures. Oh, what was that? Look, something forgotten on the coffee table. What?
Yes?
No, not you. What is it? I don't see anything. Something forgotten on the coffee table. I don't get an interaction. Weird.
Mister, I need to be back to talk with old Leah here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larisse said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And a lot of folks really did keep coming back.
Yeah. That's not particularly going anywhere. I'm trying to think. In the meantime, let's talk to the soldier guy. That's impersonating a worker. Trying to run through the list of characters in my head. Do I know somebody who's a forger? I also kind of want to specify, like, can I forge the document and get what I want, but also not have the construction thing pan through? Like, will it be detected as a forgery and the whole thing gets called off? Or will I accidentally get these people evicted by just going around them? I only really want to do it if I'm screwing over Evrart, not the women.
Wandering man?
Nope. Trying to think of who I might know that's a forger. I'm drawing a huge blank, but it sounds familiar, but I might just be thinking of other worlds that aren't Disco Elysium. I might be thinking of a different game entirely.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Are you a mercenary hired by Wild Pines?
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here, you understand?
It just has to be said, that was not a convincing line. Say very quietly, is there a tribunal being convened by any chance?
Fucking bug.
He breathes out slowly, his giant chest deflating and mouth slightly open. A punch is not imminent, but but it's being cocked hard. You hear a tiny rattle, a small radio, crackling somewhere. An earpiece? I'm going to interpret that as a yes. There's a tribunal, and it won't be long until it's ready.
How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course. The lieutenant says, his voice is soothing, calm. He looks at you. Hell no, I'm just an honest scab. That didn't sound too convincing. Fucking loincloth. Okay, that's just another distressing label you got there. He stares you down mutely for a second. Loincloth? Now, you see, that's not really what a scab would say, is it? Better not press the issue further, sire. He seems tense. Okay. The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get to his right to work dance back on. I think you may be able to help me decipher some tattoos.
Don't think so,
he grunts, barely glancing at it. It was your colonel. Wordless, he takes the photo and looks at it. Gray eyes dart back and forth on the glossy surface. His face is unmoving. Hard as stone, but beneath it, you see dead flesh in colorful rivers of polychrome, melting skin and hair. After a while, he cranes his head side to side and sighs.
Fucking loincloths really did him in.
Loincloths?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the tattoo means?
What it means?
He points to one tiny star in the web of lines, away from the man's heart, almost on his stomach.
I can tell you what that one means. Only one.
He squints at it. It's so small.
You want to hear what happened here?
Yes.
Our colonel's deep in the bush here. Deep in the fucking bush. In Benatial 41.
Also, he just straight up fucking immediately, like, he's completely admitting it at this point. So that's clearly who he is. He's not even hiding.
In Benaital 41, monsoon season. He's on a reconnaissance mission.
Benaital is one of the inhabited islands of the Seminoles archipelago, near the Pale, covered in jungle. It was anchor point for the Seminoles nationalists in the proxy war held on the islanders' territory.
He spent a month behind enemy lines scouting kipped villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes for fun. Men are getting restless. There's talk of switching employers.
He licks his lips, as if drunk suddenly. With some strange emotion, this is about to get really graphic. Last moment to back off. Oh, that's your content warning, everybody watching. This is about to get graphic. Don't interrupt him.
Our boy. He's only a captain then, but he knows how these men think. If they don't see action soon...
His voice gets strangely quiet. A long, long way from right to work. His gaze pierces the paper.
At dawn he comes upon two kipts, breeding in the bushes by the river. Or maybe they weren't breeding, maybe they're just making eyes at each other. I like to think they were breeding. We shot the boy, he was useless, but the girl, she was nice. A little fat, you know, but not too old.
Oh boy, this is where we're going.
She was quite the entertainment. For the week she lasted, expired in the hands of Sarge Mason, the kind of guy who'd make chief there.
He nods towards the man on the gates.
Shit his pants and cry like a bitch. God.
He suddenly bursts out laughing.
Mason couldn't let go. Cut the tits off her cold body and fucking ate them. Said primitive spirits were watching over him now.
Suddenly the laughter stops.
Drowned in a creek a week later. Spirits my ass.
All right, so just in case we weren't sure that these people are going to be the worst in a game full of confusing morality and characters that I'm not, where you're basically not fully happy with basically anyone, these people are going to sweep in to be the villains, it seems. I was going to say trio, this duo, because one of them's the murder victim. extra muddies the water when the whole game is structured around a murder victim that is just the worst. So like you're kind of not even really blaming anyone. You were there? No, I was in Domain and Jamrock being a bouncer. You're not really a scab leader, are you? Fucking mask is getting sweaty. I want to take my mask off, but he shrugs. Can I have it back? Go ahead. He turns towards the gate, slowly, and yells, "All right now, free commerce, keep the goods flowing." On the photo in your hands, the dead man's skin is studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them, glittering his dead skin. I'm just gonna leave now. All right. Leaving now. So is every single star a dead person? Somebody that person had killed? Some of them worse than others. Some of them might have been enemy combatants. Some of them might have been incredibly distressing stories like that one. And those countless stars. Boy. Being in the RCM is totally worth it. We're totally doing something that matters right now. Where's your friend? Oh wait, this is the wrong part of the area too. They were over there before. Where's your friend?
Officer, care to play a game with a lonely old man?
The jolliness is gone on Gaston's face.
Actually, never mind. It wouldn't be the same.
Where's Renee? The prick is gone, he replies, trying to smile. I can barely believe it, but he's really gone. He died? He's trying to retain his jolly facade, but the underlying sadness casts a deep shadow over his wrinkled face. Gone? Gone where? Gaston sighs and mumbles, more to himself than you. Hell, most likely. He was an absolute cunt. How did he die exactly? His angry little heart finally gave out. He sighs. The dock workers found him in the guard booth this morning. Wasn't even supposed to be working for another week, but he just had to prove how tough he is. Wait. Did he push himself to prove he could pull his weight and doesn't need handouts? Guess he was about to head home, because when the dock workers found him, he was wearing civilian clothes and not the cockatoo uniform I saw him in all the time. This is a third death already. We're still investigating one murder, and 2 more deaths have happened nearby. Maybe both accidents, though? Sometimes I thought he was wearing it just to piss me off. Gaston smiles a sad smile. Now the joke's on him, because he's going to be buried without it. That means the uniform could still be in the guard booth. Something to keep in mind if you really plan to give yourself to Revachol. Do you think our conversation about his job pushed him to go out there? No, he replies quickly. Rene was the most stubborn man in Revachol. Nothing you or I could say would ever push him to do anything. The man was completely immovable. He has doubts, but right now he just wants to move on and not think about it. Was he really that bad? I repeat, an absolute cunt. He turns to look at the crater. Even his old army buddies didn't want him around. He was like an old viper. The only people who could stand to be around him were Jeannie and me. He pauses. She saw something in him when we were just kids, and his voice trembles. And she never lost sight of it. I thought if the most beautiful thing in the world could love him, then there must be something worth holding on to. Did you love him? We've hated each other for our entire lives. So much, in fact, that... He falls silent and looks at you. eyes filling up with tears. Yes, I loved that angry prick. He didn't deserve it, but I did. He wipes his eyes with his sleeve. You know what his last words to me were? Something mean? In Guillaume's time, you'd have been shot without a trial. That's what he said to me. The old man gathers himself and wipes his eyes again. He lived a cunt and he died a cunt. Let's leave it at that. You know what happened to his medals? He looks at you for a moment, then speaks quietly. I took them for myself. Took them to remember that old cunt. Nobody knew him better than I did, and I want to remember that old cunt by something. Strange how old cunt sounds almost gentle when he says it now. Here, something to remember your friends by. Give him the photo of Renee and the girl. Let me see. Gaston takes the photo, hands trembling. This was 60 years ago. We all went to that parade. Young Renee looked so happy, and Jenny. Eyes blurry with tears, he has to stop. I'm sorry, officer, I just... He dries his eyes. Thank you. Thank you for this little memorabilia. It really means the world to me. That was nice. The lieutenant smiles. A small thing for us, but invaluable to him. He probably didn't even know Renee had the photo. Old people die, you better get ready too. Jesus Christ. I offer my sincere condolences. Yes, the lieutenant nods. We are both very sorry for your loss. It is what it is. Part of life, really. He mumbles, only half listening to you. But to know someone for 79 years, then one day they're just gone. I just don't know anymore about anything, really. He slowly shakes his head, then remembers your presence. But you must need something? It's too bad Renee is gone. I was hoping to ask him about my bells. The old man stares at the flower, then sighs and says, Renee wasn't really what you'd call a botanist, officer, and believe me, he didn't like Insulindian lilies. Wait, Insulindian lilies? Mm-hmm. He replies with a slight nod. That's their old name, dating back to the time of kings and crests and all that other stuff he loved so much. Why didn't he like them? There were many reasons, but mostly it was the communards. They called them the Bells of Revolution. A sad smile passes his face. I guess in the end, the Insulindian lilies were just another piece of the old Insulind. The Royalists had to surrender to the Mazovian insurgents. It doesn't really matter anymore. Can we talk about Renee? Yes? No. Talk about the Union? Nope. No, we're done here. That's it. That's all we've got. So he died. I suppose we have the context now of them being Insulindian lilies. It doesn't feel like a throwaway thing. It really does feel like the flower is like a thing that is some sort of clue about the situation. And that she's so uninterested in acknowledging them specifically because they might be a bit of a giveaway. What if I dual wield tools? Now I'm unstoppable, right? That's how this works? No, I still can't even try anyway. But yeah, the bonus for having the machine unplugged is not getting better. So that's worrying. Yeah. I keep thinking about opening it. I gotta keep reminding myself that I'm waiting for that ability to burn through, and it's taking a long time. Where are we at now? 9 more hours. Oh boy. It might be reasonable to buy one of those board games now. With my increasing fortune. The two of them combined are 37, leaving me with like 13 afterwards. Why not? I want to buy the Viral game. The legacy of this poor dead company. If you say so. She gives you a curious glance, but you better stay away from those immortal occult rituals. I want to buy the Suzerainty game. Wonderful choice, sir. She smiles at you. A wholesome family game. You say so. Are you able to buy books in here too still? I want to buy the... God damn, it's 9. The Hjemdalman book. The man from Hjemdal. I don't want to spend all of my money. Even spending how much I just did is potentially a bad idea. But the money doesn't seem to actually come up that much outside of the original context of rent. Looks like Guillaume Le Million. That hair poster. Oh, that one over there. I think I already figured out who Dick Mullen was, didn't I? The Greatest Innocence book. Ah, context about the church. Are these the ones that are not for sale? Yeah. I'm interested in the Greatest Innocence book. A true cultural touchstone, she nods. Enjoy the read. I'm a little on pause right now, right? I might want to read these things now to pass some time. Because my ability to even try some of the stuff to crack open the whole church situation depends on me finishing the timer on that skill I'm doing right now. Whereas that's a point of no return. And that's kind of the primary thing. I need to find a forger, though. Still drawing a blank. How are you doing, by the way?
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
Been wearing my hat all game, thanks to you. What? How many criminal characters do I know? You guys, it's been over a day. You're being weird now, if we're being honest. You're seditious.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Very, very easy to get him to give me money. But that's about it. I can't talk to him about the checks. I just generally haven't talked to this guy for a bit, so it's worth checking in.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Nope, not much going on here. I don't think there's a figure that's particularly welcome. How much did this thing cost again? Yeah, I remember now. Holy crap. Maybe the hobo. The homeless drunk full of stories that used to have a lot of money. He was a business dude. He might be good at like forging a signature. Or figuring out a loophole here. Can't think of a lot of other criminal characters in general, really. That's not very helpful. Not gonna go to the soldiers. Maybe the drug kids? That seems like a weird direction to go in, though. Weren't they right here? Are they gone? I think they were right here. Are they gone? What?
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
Yeah. My suggestion is useless. The homeless guys all vanished. How will I learn new stories now? Did they go somewhere? It is snowing out. Maybe it's just bad luck. Maybe the weather comes and goes in different forms, and if I just show up at the right time of day, they'll be gone. Huh. Oh, you're still out in the snow. It's been days. You shouldn't still be out here. It's not going anywhere. Well, shit. I was thinking of trying the homeless dudes, but they're just not around at all. You're still here? I think the other guy is straight up vanished at this point. Maybe I'll play my games to pass some time then, because then I can at least try to open the thing. The Greatest Innocence, Viral. The board game Viral. A high pastoral, fantastique populaire board game. Illustrated with bucolic vistas and featuring odd-looking humanoid creatures. It's the 3rd edition of the Mega Setting Supplements module and can't be played without the main game. Wait, what? It just says Viral. Why would it be the 3rd fucking supplemental module that can't be played without the main? What? Large letters on the front form the title Viral. The colorful box is illustrated with bucolic vistas. The cover art also features odd-looking humanoids, some short, some taller, some with pointy ears, others with ephemeral wings. Examine the box. Text underneath the title in smaller typeface reads 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement Module. Side panel reads a sword and sorcery adventure game with new maps and miniatures. Shake the box. Mysterious things rattle inside. What could they be? Dice? Plastic miniatures? Fantastical alternate world full of magic and wonder? None of that witless man from Heimdall fascist dross hidden behind faux realistic allegory. Viral is no cliche-ridden apologia for colonial violence. Viral is pure imagination. Yes, the Viral setting is known for its complicated system of political alignments. But if you're not into that, you can just hack your way through dungeons in search of loot. That's what most people do. Look at the back. A blurb on the back reads, tired of the tedium and toil of modern life? Escape to Viral. Leave behind isolas and nations with their petty squabbles. Discard electricity, magnets, and boring technological widgets. Succumb to a world of high pastoral fantastique. Unleash your imagination and create an adventure of endless possibilities. Discover the terrible secret threatening Viral. Can your band of adventurers save the world? Yes, we're ready to take on this challenge. Exactly. That's the spirit. All you have to do is read an intricate rulebook, study an assortment of maps, unfold the illustrated game board, and start rolling dice. In no time, you could be romping through grasslands and low-level characters, hunted by Iskil riders, or battling unspeakable monsters in endless dungeon fraught with danger and despair, conjuring up forceful magics to aid your quest. Don't forget heated arguments escalating to physical confrontation with your friends. Wow, that's a little too true about D&D. And beer. Lots of beer. And most importantly, never forget to rage quit if the dice don't go your way. Open the box. You pry open the box. Inside you find a folded up map, a small booklet, 24-sided dice, and a little plastic figurine. 24-sided die. Google 24-sided dice. I mean, I'm sure you can probably make a polygon of any number of sides, right? Huh. You do get results when you Google these numbers. They just look very odd. Yeah. That looks like it goes to yeah, that goes to 24, it looks like. They start to get more and more blobby. 24 is a pretty clean polyhedron, but once you get to more and more sides, it has so many faces that each face keeps getting smaller, and you're getting closer and closer to just having a ball. I imagine once you have like 100 sides, it's just like a goddamn sphere that just takes way too long to stop rolling and so on. Which is why, oh yep, if I scroll for a while, actually, a D100 comes up as a result, and it basically is just a ball. That's pretty funny. There's a reason why in D&D, when you want to roll a D100, you just roll 2 D10s. One for the ones place and one for the tens place, instead of that mess. Look at the die. It's made from some sort of wood and has been decorated with peculiar plant motifs. You don't know much about dice, but this one looks pretty damn fancy. Look at the map. A reprint of a crude hand-drawn map. The top left corner reads Lands of Viral. The map features both small villages and mid-sized towns, with odd names, in addition to meadows, forests, hills, lakes, and seas, also with odd names. It doesn't seem to correspond with anything you've seen thus far. It's not a very helpful map. Well, yeah, it's a fake map. Look at the booklet. A quick guide to the magical races of Viral. Create your own hero, choosing from any of these completely unique and fantastical backgrounds. The options are, in order of importance, the Vulcan, the Dwelger, the humans, the fairy folk, and the pygmies. Read about the Welkin. The Welkin, tall, lithe, and graceful, with long flowing hair and pointy ears. They're known for being powerful magic users, but can also hold their own in a brawn-driven fight. The Velkin come with a variety of exciting subraces: High Velkin, Forest Velkin, Lake Velkin, and Snow Velkin. But if you're not feeling experimental, the basic Velkin will always do. Read about the Dwelger. A grand race of industrious mountain people. They're short, stout, muscular, and enjoy digging for gold and other precious materials. They're also well versed in the art of combat, where they prefer to use axes and hammers. The Dwelger, also come in a few different subraces: Hill Dwelger, Shield, and Dark. Read about humans. They're just humans. What else is there to tell? They're average in all stats and jack of all trades. Fairy folk. A very small race of flying people, known for being mischievous, full of trickery. They often lure people into their magical traps. There are no subraces for the fairies. Pygmies. The least popular of the virile races, the pygmies are short, rotund, and dim-witted. Pygmies live in small villages made of shoddy wooden dwellings. They spend most of their days tilling the earth and smoking their pipes. There are no subraces of the pygmies, so they're hobbits, more or less. Take the die. When you place the die in your pocket, you know, it's always good to have luck on your side. Ooh, I wonder if that actually does anything. Look at the figurine. You see a man in ragged clothes wearing a lopsided hat and wielding some sort of firearm. Huh. Interesting. A communard. A what? A communard. One of the leftist revolutionaries in the anti-centennial revolution. What's so interesting about that? The figurine is not a part of the VR game setting. I guess someone misplaced it during the packaging process. Does this mean we can't play? The lieutenant shrugs. I have a feeling the figurines are more to set the scene than anything else. Take the figurine. I wonder if that's the secret to the puzzle here. You pick the figurine up by the base and to meet your gaze. The little plastic man stares back at you, his face contorted into a disturbing shout. Then you pocket it. Close the box. A colorful box with the tile Viral in bold letters. It's a board game. Am I not able to play the game? Aw. I wanted to play it with Kim. Maybe it's because we don't have the main game. I got 2 items out of it though. That's interesting. He doesn't look like he's screaming to me. What a nice little figurine. A turn of the century leftist revolutionary in ragged clothes. On his head lies a lopsided hat, seemingly a ushanka. In his hand he carries a little musket. This is the basic 24-sided role-playing die. Can be used to get results for several dice. It's made of East Seminoese snakewood and embellished with plant motifs. It reminds you of plain and hill welkins. Note, look at the map tab in journal to see which white checks have opened. Ooh. I didn't just spend something, did I? No. Which white checks have opened? It's hard to remember what some of these even are. Conceptualization impossible. Well, the important one, the ice cream maker, did not reset. So that's the main one. Which one? Can you just tell me what one's reset? Did any reset? Apparently acquiring this dice reset white check, so that happened here too. I wish it would give you some feedback. But maybe I just don't have any particularly important white checks to be resetting right now anyway. We try. The board game Suzerainty. Civilization building board game where you get to choose a nation and set off to colonialize and exploit other cultures. A star-shaped note on the box proclaims the game now includes a completely new genocide option. This is an ongoing thing. Is the a common criticism of Western style RPGs is that they're very, very, very much kind of woven into the core colonial values that a lot of Western society has profited from. So it's a lot about going into new areas, often full of indigenous people, performing a bunch of tasks that make you the hero, exploiting the resources, defeating anything that you come across along the way, and probably saving the day and becoming the leader of something or so on. There's a lot of elements that stand out usually when it comes to that stuff. And same can go for a lot of tabletop games and also stuff like Civilization. They have a particular stance. Like I remember there was an interesting video made by Errant Signal a long time ago about... Wait, was it Errant Signal? No. Yes? Yeah. Kyle Calgren made a video about civilization called, I think it was called Who Gets to Be a Civilization, and it was questioning the idea of like just kind of analyzing from bit to bit just which cultures are chosen to be civilizations in Civilization, and the interesting elements of that, like how some of them are kind of unidentifiable as being kingdoms, while other ones are kind of like multiple iterations of the same through line of people from different eras, but they're distinct civilizations. And some of them are kind of, there's just like some very interesting strange choices there. But I think it was Errant Signal that made a video about the mechanics of Civilization and how they're inherently like, you'd kind of have to have this colonialist sort of approach to how you win the game, because the very rule set by which the game determines the value of a society and whether or not they're winning or losing and so on is inherently biased around particular ideas of how you succeed as a society, which generally means growing and developing and conquering and so on, as opposed to any other kinds of values you could get out of life or as a group of people. There's not a lot of like, just, wow, you did a good job, you made a sustainable society that is like, you know, like self-sustainable and morally enlightened, or other elements, or just anything along those lines. It's always about sort of like colonialist concepts, which is not necessarily even a full-on criticism or a negative, but just sort of like an observation that's worth questioning at times, is the biases and assumptions that go into games and how they're developed, and why a rule set values what it does and says things are winning that it does say are winning. Looks like I can't give this figurine to her. Why? Because she's a stained glass window. That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else. Like what? Is the task still on? I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things already. The mother of humanism towers over the wax painting. Towers over you, a wax painting, blah, 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 blah. I do have this strange goal to plant this figure, which I don't know if it's even doable, or how much I even want to do it. But it's there, and so now I'm just curious about the mechanics of it. Yeah, I just had this weird goal to offer figures to her. What an odd task to give yourself, but here we are. I can think of one idea. There's the weird lantern that's cosmetic that you can buy downstairs. Not downstairs, at the thrift shop. I'm not going to, because it costs 700, so I don't know if it's even possible to get that amount, but even if it was possible, I don't know if it's particularly likely at this point. But if I did have that light, I could shine the light at the figure, and then the shadow of the figure would be in his hand, in her hand. That still might be possible. There might be a variation where like I can, like, where's the light source? Something's lighting her up right now, right? If you put it in the right spot, you could give the figure to her, quote unquote, by having it go through the light. This is the silence spot. That's not happening.
Yes, what is it?
Nope. We're stumped for a few different reasons. Mostly just telling me that this is new. Yeah, we'll get to that book next time, I think.